What is up, everyone? Do I have exciting news for you today? There's a lot to talk about, but I'm happy to say I think you're gonna enjoy today's video. Just before we hop into the patents made by Oculus, and do keep in mind, I do keep calling Facebook Oculus here, and that's simply because my brain is still stuck with Oculus and not Facebook. So every time I say Oculus, I actually mean Facebook. Let me tell you guys about a few things that might not be known. First of all, we were actually supposed to have an Oculus Rift 2. Now, I don't even know how many of you know what the Oculus Rift is, because so many of you joined during the Quest saga, maybe soon a trilogy. But the consumer version of the Oculus Rift started with the CV1. Originally, the Oculus Rift CV1 was a headset being sold with only one sensor, and was really only meant to be used while sitting down. After that, they expanded to 2 sensors and full room-based tracking. These sensors were supposed to be mounted onto your ceiling or onto your desk, tracking the positioning of the headset in the 6DoF space, just like lighthouses from Valve. And then, finally, they added the touch controllers, and the touch controllers back in the day were revolutionary. There was nothing like them at the time. The only other controllers were the Vive ones, and overall, it was just a fantastic headset. Now, what if I were to tell you that Oculus did actually create an Oculus Rift 2? Yeah, they actually had a full-blown model and a version ready for production, except it was cancelled just before production in favor of this, the Oculus Rift S. And damn, this thing looks like it hasn't been used in a while. Now, according to Palmer Luckey, what a bummer. Imagining a world where Rift 2 was not cancelled shortly before going into production, and then cancelled again in favor of a much lower spec Lenovo rebadge, meaning that the Oculus Rift 2 would have been a much higher spec version of the Oculus Rift S, and that's unfortunate, because I personally would have loved to seen what the Oculus Rift 2 could have been. Imagine Oculus lighthouses, full body tracking, better versions basically of those sensors that we had in the CV1 days, possibly some insane type controllers. And what could the specs possibly have been? I guess we're never going to find out, unless Oculus does plan going back to the Rift lineup. But now that they have the standalone Quest, I highly doubt it. Let me know what you think about it down below. But things get even more interesting when you find out what's happening. Facebook has confirmed to Upload VR that they will not be continuing to replenish Oculus Rift S stocks. This is a goodbye to the Oculus Rift S. Its life wasn't very long. 2 years about right now, to be exact, and I got this thing the second it was released, and I got it because I thought the Quest was inferior, and now it turns out it was quite the opposite. I mean, this thing still has comfort and still has PC VR in the bag, but I still use my Quest over it every day. But still, there's a part of me that feels quite sad about the fact that the Rift S will not be restocked once stocks go, and that's unfortunate. I mean, I know so many people that have bought the Rift S and ended up being disappointed because of driver failures, driver issues, tracking problems. I've had all of them. Seriously, I've had all of them. And this doesn't mean that the Rift S will stop being supported. No, it won't. I mean, the CV1 is still supported. You can still play VR on it, and that's the beauty of PC VR. You can actually continue to use the oldest headsets on PC VR and still play, which is cool, because it means PC VR headsets pretty much never die. It's just kind of sad to see it go. But do you know what isn't sad? The brand new Oculus patents. Well, they're not really new. November 2020. Oculus seems to be filing a lot of patents, but we don't know about it. And in fact, I've searched the internet and I've found nothing about anybody speaking about these. The last video I found about anybody speaking upon Oculus gloves or Oculus haptics of any sort was Thrillseeker's video about a year ago. So why weren't these patents found? I'm not entirely sure, but yesterday on our Discord, Patent Digger found these patents and sent over images. And the second they sent over images, I was instantly interested. Except they couldn't find the PDF, and when they sent over the PDF, it didn't entirely allow me to access the site. So I did a bunch of digging, and I'm happy to say I found the patents. And before we hop into these patents, it's important to know that these are just patents. There's about a 50-50 chance that these will never come to life, but Facebook did file for them, so it means they are working on something, and it is very interesting to look into the minds of the people working behind these projects. Let's take a look at them. So, the first image that we see is a handheld controller to be utilized and operated in the 3D space, such as use in artificial reality and virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, or a hybrid of both, which means that we're now getting a controller compatible with a bunch of different headsets, including what seems to be mixed reality from Microsoft. Is Oculus planning on releasing a controller that will be compatible with both AR, VR, and MR? I'm not entirely sure, but it sure seems like it from these patents. But things get a lot more interesting when you begin scrolling down through the patents. First of all, this controller is going to have a mouse module. Yeah, I was as confused as you guys probably are while searching through this. It seems to even have a scroll wheel, which is quite an interesting thing. So it seems the controllers are going to have mouse modules with a scroll wheel and an optical sensor, allowing you to place your hand down and use the controller as a mouse, and a button to switch between multi-DOF mode and mouse mode, because mouse mode will be operated in a 2D plane, which is quite interesting. I mean, I can see how that would be so useful for productivity. Imagine virtual desktop open in front of you, your controller with your mouse sensor on your mouse pad, just moving it around using that weird scroll wheel. I think that would be pretty cool. Now, it also seems these controllers are going to have full finger tracking. Now, I may have gotten the wording of this incorrectly, my interpretations aren't 100%, but according to the patents, as shown on figure 3, the gap 330 may be sized and shaped such that at least a portion of one of the fingers, 338, of the user's hand, 336, may be positioned within the gap, 330, which, according to my logic, which again could be completely off, means that at least a portion of the finger touching the gap will be sensed. Again, I could be interpreting this completely incorrectly, but it does seem like that gap in there is there for some reason, and that reason seems to be full finger tracking. Kind of like Valve's controllers, and multiple people in the community have said it's about time Oculus releases full finger tracked controllers. Once these patents were posted on our Discord yesterday, people did start speculating, Quest Pro controllers with full finger tracking? Next, we move on to their augmented reality patents, which according to me look quite interesting on the patent photos, but they get even more interesting once you start reading into it. There's some insane augmented reality systems coming from Facebook, and the important part here is that Facebook is using NEDs, also known as near-eye displays, meaning that these are going to be much, much slimmer, and hopefully means that Facebook is working on some new type of lenses, allowing us to move the displays much, much closer to the eye. That would be really good and really cool, because it means we would no longer require our headsets to be like this size. They could be this size instead. And that is something I'm looking forward to quite a lot, because, you know, weight. In the next patent here, we see a filing for something that seems to be smart glasses, possibly Project Aria. And we see that while the augmented system includes 2 displays, embodiments of this disclosure may be implemented in augmented reality systems with a single NED or more than 2 NEDs. It's kind of funny calling them NEDs, but that's what they are. It seems that the glasses are going to have all sorts of sensors, I mean, they kind of have to, including an IMU, a depth camera assembly, or a combination thereof. And most of these things are things we already know. The smart glasses are going to have microphones, the smart glasses are going to have speakers, they're going to have all sorts of things. But here is something that I, myself, didn't know. It seems that the smart glasses are going to be able to be paired with some form of smart necklace. And if you're confused, I was confused as well, but it all begins making sense. Instead of having to use your phone or a completely external device to power the headset and give it its power, it seems Facebook is going to shove all the computing power into a smart necklace that will connect with the glasses, allowing the glasses to be less clunky and less heavy, basically look better on your face, you know, kind of like the Razer smart glasses, which look like normal glasses. This will again allow for a much shorter wire, possibly going from the glasses to the computing necklace, or maybe they're even going to use Bluetooth. Who knows, but it's definitely interesting to see that they aren't necessarily planning on shoving all the computing power into the glasses themselves. I wonder if this necklace is going to be optional, and like the glasses will have a computing power of their own, possibly to show you directions or just the time and the weather, and then you put on the necklace in case you want to do more power-hungry tasks. This is something that I definitely see as being a much better option than having to wear the necklace the entire time, unless it looks good. But let's be real, I don't think it's going to look good. Cyberpunk, anyone? Now here is where things start getting interesting, because Oculus has been working on smart gloves, haptic gloves, for the longest time, and we do know that, especially if you look at their older patents. But here, we've now got more information. These are what Oculus calls vibrotactile systems. It seems that the glove will be connected with a wristband, possibly the one that we have been seeing this entire time, to allow for, you know, full finger tracking. The one that kind of connects to your nerves or your muscles and senses that and uses that for full finger tracking, or the wristband will just house the processor and all the processing power required for the gloves. These gloves will provide haptic feedback to the user, and we can see this with this text. The vibrotactile devices 1040 may be positioned in locations to provide a vibrating sensation, haptic feedback, to a user of the vibrotactile system. And here we have confirmation that these gloves should also work with a variety of different devices. As another example, the vibrotactile system may be configured for interaction with another device or system. For example, the vibrotactile system may, in some examples, include a communication surface for receiving and sending signals to other devices or systems. The other device or system may be a mobile device, a gaming console, an artificial reality, virtual reality, augmented reality, or mixed reality device, a personal computer, a tablet, a networking device, a modem, a router, a handheld controller, etc. It is exciting to see that Oculus is making these gloves intercompatible with all these different headsets. I dig that. It is also interesting to note here that Oculus did mention feet. Smart socks, anyone? Now this is the part we were looking for. A glove, for example, will limit the user's movement or augment it. And I quote, for example, it may limit the user's hand from moving forward so that the user has the perception that their hand has come into contact with a wall. So there you go. That's what we were waiting for. That's the part where we know haptics will exist within the glove to stop your fingers from moving a certain direction. It also seems that they might have vibration, force, traction, texture, and or temperature, which is like a whole new step in the realm of virtual reality. Imagine they had all of those. That would be cool. Now, of course, these patents do go into a lot more detail, but if I were to read the entire patent form for you, we'd be here for hours. So if you guys want to take a look at these patents, of course, they are publicly available for you guys. All you need to do is search them up. Here's the number of the patent, in case you want to read that entire thing. I just read through it, took some notes, and gave you guys a kind of simplified version of it to hopefully deliver it to you in an entertaining manner. Now, as a little meme for the end, or just as a funny joke, is something I saw show up on my phone yesterday. The leak that happened was not funny, of course, it wasn't. But I have also unfortunately found out that it wasn't just public information being leaked, because Zuck's phone number was leaked. Yeah, guys, Zuck's phone number was leaked. Guess what? Zuck uses Signal. It seems Zuck himself values his privacy and uses Signal over Facebook. Just a little thought for you guys. I mean, it's pretty funny according to me. When I saw it, we had a laugh with our little group on Signal, and it was just pretty funny. And this is the last time I'm going to mention this, but it actually seems there's a bug and YouTube might be unsubscribing you. So in case you do want to be subscribed to the channel, or you were in the past, check if that little red button is ticked down below. Because I got a lot of messages yesterday telling me that YouTube did unsubscribe people. So yeah, last time I'm going to mention this, guys. So that is going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you learned something new. Maybe you knew about these patents already. If you did, let me know down below. They have been with us for a while, but again, I haven't been able to find anything on them for some reason. But yeah, if you guys liked today's video, please leave a like. If you guys disliked it, I guess this button works too, but please tell me why down in the comment section below. If you guys are not yet part of the community, make sure to join our Discord down below. Make sure to join our Reddit. Post your spicy memes on there. And if you guys would like to support the channel in any way, shape, or form, we've got sick mugs down below that boost your FPS by 300% and merch that doesn't put a huge ad on your body. This is actually not the merch. I don't have the merch yet. April 22nd. And if you guys want to be notified about future content coming up on the channel daily, make sure to smack the subscribe button, hit your forehead, ding my bell, and see you again in the next video. Peace.